Working on the shit box again. So I haven't done a video in a hot minute. Figured, fuck it, why not? Don't make any money on them, but might as well impart a little bit of knowledge. Don't mind my editing skills. This is going to be super rough cut, to the point. So basically, I don't know if you can see it, but I wore out a front driver shock. That right there is supposed to be straight up and down, not sideways. That and this bulge right here ain't supposed to be there. This whole shock is bent. Anyways, so we've already installed a new shock, but basically I have to realign this car because I knocked the alignment out on this side, and because I didn't have time to fix it, the way I countered the alignment being off was I purposefully knocked this side out about 2 degrees to try and keep the car centered. So I'm going to show you how to string align a car in your driveway. Okay, so tools you're going to need to do this. You're going to need a jack, just one. You need a tape measure. You're going to need a string. I got this DeWalt. It's a straight edge string. I got it for $8. You're going to need a couple of jack stands. Very important. So basically you're going to set it up like I got it set up right here. One jack stand past the back tire, one jack stand in front of the front tire. What you're doing is you're creating a straight line. The other big thing is you're gonna have to, or you're gonna wanna have it as straight, as close to the middle of the tires as possible, the center line on the tire. Doesn't have to be perfect, but just close. You're gonna wanna make sure your steering wheel is straight. If you can lock it, lock it. If not, whatever. And then, once all that's set up and done, you're gonna get ready to do your measurements. Now I have the front of this car jacked up off the ground. There's a bunch of people that say, oh, don't do that. Put it on like, they say put it on a couple of sheet pans with some grease in between them so you can turn the tires while it's on the ground. I've done this a bunch of times with the car in the air and it works just the same. I've never had a problem with it. In fact, I did this on a Blazer a couple of months ago. The guy ended up taking it in for new tires after that, and they said it didn't need to be aligned. And we completely tore the front wheel drive unit out of the front and turned it into a 2-wheel drive. So we had all the suspension torn out, and I string aligned it in the driveway. And they told him it was only like 1/4 of a degree out of line. Okay, so what you're gonna do, once you have your string lined up like that, just get it sort of close-ish. You want to start on the inside of the rim, not the tire, the rim, right? And you gather a measurement from the front or from the back of the rim and the front of the rim, right? So I'm like basically just a little under 4 here, and I'm just a little over 4 here. So I'm gonna bring this back one back just a smidge. Be right back. All right, so now I have a baseline, 4 inches. It doesn't look like it on the camera, but I promise it's 4 inches. So now we go back to the front of the back wheel, right? And we are at 3 1/4 inches. So now I'm gonna go take that front jack stand, I'm gonna move it just a little bit so that I can come back and check this measurement. All right, so I moved that front jack around to the point where I can stop being so fidgety. I'm at 4 inches on the front, and I should still be 4 inches on the back. So now this line is straight to the back tire. And that's how we're going to make sure the front tires are in line. Now that I know this line is straight, I can go up here and make measurements on the front tire and figure out how far it's turned in or out. Now the measurements to this tire and this tire are going to be different because this tire's got a different offset, it's got a spacer, and it's coming off the car because it doesn't hold the fucking air. Whatever. So, all right, moment of truth. Let's see how bad we are. Let's see here. So this is basically just shy. That's like 6 and whatever, 6 3/8. Oof. Oof. We got a little bit of adjustment to do. So basically, the front of this tire is farther in than the back is by about a 1/2 inch. So the front of this tire is turned that way. So it's like it's constantly trying to turn to the left. So what I'm gonna have to do is go in on the tie rod and basically take the slack out of it until it sucks the back of the tire in and gets it straight. I'm gonna do that off camera, but I'm gonna show you. I'll give you a little quick how-to here. Give me 1 second. Now we're into the car. This right here is your tie rod end. This is the outer tie rod. Inner tie rod. This is the locking nut. To adjust the tie rod, you back the locking nut off, which I've already done. And then right here, you can't see it, but it's hex shaped. And you can turn this back and forth and it will push the back of the tire in or out. So now I've done all this, I can't remember which way is which. Anyways, I believe, and you can see how bad this thing was out of whack. Oh crap. I think the back of the tire's got to go this way. So we got to turn this tie rod and push the tire out this way. And by the way, to turn that inner tie rod, you usually have to have something like this, like a wrench. Sometimes there's a special tool, but you can rent them at AutoZone. Anyways, so couple turns. I did like 6 quarter turns. So let's see where we're at now. Let's see here. I'm at 6 1/2, basically there. And I'm at 7. So, did I screw up? I might have screwed up. 6 1/2 there. I'm a little above 7 here, so I need to go back the other way. Hang on. And then after a bunch of in and out, you can get that. That's 6 and about 6 3/4. About 7 and what is that? 7 5/8, something like that. It's about a 1/4 inch off. Unfortunately, that's as far as I can adjust it, which means I probably got a bent tie rod end. But 1/4 of an inch. So this tire is towed out by 1/4 of an inch, which should be fairly acceptable for now. We're going to go and do the other side. And then I'll show you the last step, which is super duper important. Be right back. Okay, so once again, we put our jack stands up, stretch our line tight, get it through the middle part of the wheel best you can, right? Do our measurements, 6 inches there, 6 inches there. That means that line is straight. Yeah, this car is a real shit box. It's got 3 different sets of wheels on it. Don't leave shit posts in the comments, or do, I don't really care. Anyways, so now that's done. We know this line's straight, parallel. Let's do some measurements on this tire, which got a lot of outside wear. So I'm assuming this one's pointing out too. You can already kind of see it's kind of this way. But let's take some measurements real fast. So we got basically 5 inches there. Huh, no shit. A little shade shy of 5 inches there. We got to give this one, the back of this one's got to come out just ever so slightly. Probably about 3 turns outwards. So let's do that real fast. Okay. So We basically did our adjustment on the front. Right about 5 inches there. Right about 5 inches there. So that wheel's straight. I've already gone ahead and tightened up the tie rod end. So now both front wheels are straight in line with their rear wheel counterparts. There's one more step to make sure that the front wheels are actually track straight. And it's going to be a pain in the butt, but I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so now we've made sure that the tires are straight from front to rear on both sides. Now, you want to make sure that the tires themselves are perpendicular to each other. Perpendicular? I think that's right. Parallel? Parallel. One of the fucking two. Anyways, so what you're going to do is we want to measure on the front of each tire and on the back of each tire and see if we get basically the same measurement. So the easiest way I've found to do this is basically, you can see that tire's fried. Pick a tread line, like this tread line, right? Because that's a nice straight line. And then you pick a tread line on the other tire. You're going to measure in between that one and see what the distance is. 85 inches. Then you go to the back of the tire and you measure off the same tread line and make sure that the front measurement and the back measurement are the same. So I'm going to do that and I'm going to try and film it, but I don't know if it's going to work. So there you go. All right. Alright, so if we go here, 84 and a half, or 54 and a half on the front. Once it's hooked on that tread, you just find a tread that is close to right here. And this is the one I'm using. It says 54 and a half, right? And then you go back to the back and you measure from the same tread to the same tread. There's, in the back I'm not gonna be able to do, but there's literally like maybe 1/8 of an inch difference. Like the front's 54 and a half, the back's 54 and whatever the hell it is, 1/16 or 2/16 more. So close enough for government work. Holy crap, what a pain in the butt. And then you just lower that bad boy down and inspect your work visually. Make sure everything looks good, which it looks okay. I'm gonna go take it out and take it for a test drive and see if it pulls. And hopefully I can change these tires out real quick and then I'll be done. Then you take your car out and you test drive it. No hands on the wheel. How well is it tracking? Pretty damn decent, I think. We're about as straight as it's gonna get. Now, just for like reference, the front tires are going to go into the back, but I changed out to these little dinky 14s that came on it, and they have two new to me tires on them. There's the other one. Give you an idea how bad the alignment was on the front and how much of a difference it made. Hang on. That was the back tire, which is basically flat because it doesn't fucking hold air. That's the front driver's side tire after 2 weeks of the alignment being that way. So you can align your own vehicle in your driveway, save a shit ton of money, and generally make your life easier if you have a little shitbox car like I do. So hopefully this video helped.